Today we talk on religion. So basically, how we've looked at God and how we've described Him. It's basically, as per my own understanding, which is based on Christianity, since I'm a Christian, and also hypothetically, what he'd actually be or he'd be doing if science was to explain him. I guess I don't know, but yes. So God is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. So there's nothing really to disagree about him. He's a fact. So on religion, like my friend once said, men don't disagree about God, men disagree about men. And that's why we see multiple religions. From the start of human civilization, there have been numerous religions. Some came, some went, and some we have until today. So, since God is essentially the same, it is how we see God that we disagree on. If I'm to equate it to the most popular religions, faiths, yes, we see Christianity, Islam, Judaism or Judaism, however it's pronounced, actually called. There is Hinduism, Buddhism, there are atheists, and there are what else? Deism. I think there's something like that. So, but basically, all these different faiths are how man desires to seek God. There are monotheists, that's religions with one God. Popularly Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, and polytheism, like Hinduism. Yeah, and such. There's also the atheism, which believes in no God, and also this religion. I think it's deism, not religion, but a faith, deism, where they do believe in God, but God does not affect the human life or basically anything, since He already made everything. It's now set like that, and it's like a tape now running. So this that science tries to explain them, and that's where some of these faiths take their foundation. Others, they believed in this God since the earlier days, and it's lived on up to today, and that's why it kind of sets a form of validity that it can actually be true. But realists, they try to disagree with their points, associating it with social factors, and those social factors actually do play a role, but if they are the root of such religion, and since God is the same, it doesn't mean that their point of view is wrong. It's just a different point of view. And so, an atheist and a Christian, it doesn't matter who they believe in, but more of how they believe in. Because God is how you see Him. he can he can't fail to be anything else, because if you see him as loving and kind, he is loving and kind. If you see him as evil, he is evil. And if you see him as unfair and unjust, he is unfair and unjust. And if you see him as honest and trustworthy, he is honest and trustworthy. Because God is all that. He's omniscient, rich, omnipotent, powerful, omnipresent. Either way, they all apply. Because if omniscience, where he's all powerful, he can't do anything. Omnipresent, that means he's each and every being, or rather particle, up to the atomic level of existence. And being omnipresent, just the being everywhere, even to the subatomic unit. Omniscient, omnipresent, omniscient, omnipresent. Yeah, back to the point. So how you see him is how he will be. And so the the devil, or the idea of the devil, that evil. So we see Lucifer having looked and seen God as a selfish being, someone selfish, because he too can deserve, is deserving, and so because of the pride and everything. And so this perception of him, how Lucifer saw God, that's what tainted him, and it eventually ended up on us too. Yeah. So religion is also a mirroring of that perceiving, because if you see God as only one true being, he is true one true being, the everything, the all. And if you see him as multiple personalities with different degrees of power, he is that. He can do anything. And if you see him as non-existent, he too can be non-existent. He can just disappear completely from your life, at least in your perception, but he's not going anywhere. He can be anything and everything, and also nothing. He's not limited. And what else? If you see him as existent and he does not take part in affecting your livelihood, then actually it makes sense. It makes sense, because he already made everything in the beginning. So why else bother trying to affect it